Whoa. Now, would you like to have to preach after that? I just have to say, too, amazing energy. But there's always this debate about music and worship in this new age, and the tension, shall we say, between classical music and band music. But how about Steve and this group putting together the organ with that kind of modern kind of sound? And I just thought that was stunning. Yeah. Stunningly beautiful. It really does. That was unbelievable. Well, in spite of that amazingly fantastic high energy music, this is the second Sunday in Lent. It's axiomatic that healing follows woundedness. And that all of us, every single one of us here, gets wounded in one way or another. We don't make it to Easter without going through Lent. Our Lenten text this morning are amazing news of healing that have as their backdrop the woundedness of our world. Listen for the scripture that comes to us from Genesis. Then God said to Noah and to Noah's sons and children with him, "As for me," this is God speaking, "I am establishing my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the domestic animals, and every animal of the earth with you, as many as came out of the ark. I establish my covenant with you that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of a flood, and never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth." God said, "This is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature for all future generations. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you and every living creature, and the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between me, your God, and every living creature that is on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth." Let us pray. Holy One, be with your servants now and your servant, that the words that are heard and spoken would be found well-pleasing in your sight. You who are our rock, our strength, and our place. Amen. A wounded world, we said, in which many of us feel like goldfish. What did he say? I was busy reading the bulletin, and it sounded like he said we feel like goldfish. Yes, that's what I said. I have learned that the memory of a goldfish lasts 3 seconds. Every time they swim around and meet, they're strangers again. Sometimes it seems that we can forget who we are, where we came from, and what is really important. On a large scale, a few days ago, one night, the Statue of Liberty went dark. Some said perhaps it was she in solidarity with the Day Without Women strike, and she just wanted to join in. Which led to an even darker possible meaning, as if without Lady Liberty, without women, we as a country forget our nation's story of welcoming immigrants and refugees. Do we forget who we are? Our representatives in Congress, as you I'm sure are aware, are proposing to cut 20 million citizens from their health insurance, much of that savings and money going to tax breaks for those who are wealthy. Do we forget who we are? A wounded world. And that's not the only way we experience woundedness. There's also things that we do to ourselves or to others. The Apostle Paul must have done something like this once, and in disgust or uttered these words: I do not understand myself. The thing I want to do, I don't do. And the very thing I don't want to do, that I do. O wretched self that I am. To face the woundedness of the world invariably brings us back to face our own woundedness as individuals. Like this. This incident happened at a session meeting at the Orange Park Church in Florida where I served. Now, if any here are new to Presbyterianism, the session is the governing body of any local church. They are the boss. They are the ones that make all the decisions. This happened in a session meeting at Orange Park. This incident remains the funniest moment I have ever experienced in a session meeting in my entire 35 years of ministry. We were considering the budget. Very serious business. Being very deliberate. You all know about that. Going line by line. John, the chair of the budget committee, was in charge, and he was putting up each item on a big black board. He was trying to be good stewards at the time. He was trying to move along fast and stay with a quick pace. It was a long meeting. So when we came to the staff position of the parish associate, John wrote up on the blackboard parish, and then because he was in a hurry and trying to get, he decided he was going to abbreviate, and so he abbreviated associate. He wrote up ASS. Well, as you can imagine, we all began to squirm, trying to suppress our laughter, trying to, after all, we're Presbyterians at a session meeting. We're trying to have a decorum and not cause a scene. But there it was, staring back at us. Parish ass. Till finally, Ed Kelly, clerk of the session, a lawyer with Irish blood and a wry sense of humor, Ed finally said, John, you need to change the abbreviation. The way you got it now, it could be any one of us. Getting hot here. So far, the preacher's off to a shaky start. I've named all of us goldfish, wretches, and parish asses. It's a trifecta. This Lent is a tall order. It's too big, really. It's out of our control. Except for this. Our scripture this morning shows us something else that is out of our control, and that is a rainbow-reminded God. Our Old Testament text is a classic. The telling of the giving of God the rainbow after the flood. There had been a covenant prior to this between God and the people had broken the covenant, and there had been a great flood, and now there would be a new beginning. But when we look closely at this text, we get a huge surprise. This section of Genesis contains a series of covenants, especially soon after our text, the covenant with Abram. Now, all of these covenants are between two partners, both of whom swear to certain stipulations. And doesn't this fit? Doesn't this go with our understanding of covenant? The high draft choice of the Minnesota Vikings sits down in the office of the owner of the team. There is a contract. There is a covenant. Don't both of them sign it? The minister stands at the altar. The bride and the groom, the two brides or the two grooms, shaking with fear and excitement, and the minister asks one to say, I do, and doesn't ask the other. No, of course, it's both. Covenant, it takes two. But look closely at this scripture. God, and God only, speaks. There is no response on the part of Noah. Noah does nothing, promises nothing in return. He does not accept the covenant. Heck, Noah does not even acknowledge which has happened. As one commentator puts it, the covenant with Noah is an act of a free and gracious God on behalf of a world that did not have to ask for it or earn it or even respond to it. It's as if God realizes that we creatures, here we come into Lent now, remember, sometimes have a challenge keeping our promises. I do not understand my own actions, Paul said. But God does not let that stand in the way of God's love for us. God, you see, puts the rainbow in the heaven as a reminder to God's self. Don't we usually think of the rainbow as a sign to us? You've had that experience, haven't you? When at some crisis in your life, you're on the way to chemo, you're on the way to the divorce court, to the huge interview, to the memorial service, and you see a rainbow in the cloud, and you're reminded of a presence that's with you, a sign to you. But this scripture teaches us that the rainbow is something else also, something entirely new and surprising. The rainbow is God's reminder to God's self. When I bring clouds and the bow is seen, I will remember my covenant with you. For I love you so much and would do anything to save you. You know, we talk often in this place about our destiny as people, what our purpose in life is. But here from this scripture, the thought emerges, what about God's destiny? What is God's purpose in life? The nexus, the core, the center of God's existence. It is to save the world. The work that is exciting to God, that gets God up in the morning and going out for another day, is not to bring us to heaven. It is to bring heaven to us on earth. You know, when it comes to Christian theology about this whole matter, there is a discredited and untenable, yet fairly prominent still, view of God that says, God judges by destroying. You have heard the catchphrases, hellfire and damnation. And there are many of us here in the sanctuary this morning who grew up with that teaching and are now exiles and refugees to that teaching. But what we find in this passage and throughout Scripture is a God who judges us. God makes a final determination about us, not by destroying, but by loving. Our Newer Testament lesson that I listed in the bulletin mentions this reality also. The one who judges sits at the right hand of God. The imagery, the symbolism of the right hand of God, you hear that in the Scriptures several places. Christ is at the right hand of God. The right hand of God was the place of judgment. That was the place from which flowed God's judgment. The one who sits there is the same Christ who we have come to know in Jesus. You know what it would be like? Imagine you are on trial for something. You have a wonderful, compassionate lawyer who has worked so hard for you, has gone way beyond the line of duty, who's become truly your friend, your advocate. But you're worried about, in the trial, who the judge will be. You have heard about the hanging judges and wonder if you will get one of those. You walk into the courtroom with your lawyer and are seated at your table, and all is ready for the judge to enter, and the bailiff intones, "All rise." And your lawyer, your advocate, your friend, steps from your side and strides to the judge's seat. For she is not only your friend and advocate, she's the judge. The creator of the universe, who alone by loving us. I close with this. Bill Chadwick, who many of you know now, especially after he preached here a few weeks ago, my good buddy and pastor at Oak Grove, tells this story from his youth. Bill grew up in a very, let me emphasize, very high-achieving family. The Chadwick name was very well known and prominent in the Bloomington community, and Bill's father, chief among that community as a leader, someone that people looked up to, as was his mother. The Chadwick family was very visible in that community, and there was a lot of expectation and pressure on the children of that family to be exceptional in all ways, especially school. Good grades were not just part of an expectation, Bill tells you, they were a necessity. It was part of the covenant. For instance, Bill's older brother made, in his entire high school career, 1 B+. And Bill was pretty good also, not that good, but a few more B's, but all the rest A's, and it was enough. And then in the 9th grade, Bill discovered girls. Or as Bill reports it, he had discovered them before that, but it wasn't until then that he could actually speak to them. One in particular, and in spite of his natural shyness, the romance bloomed, and unfortunately at the same time, the grades wilted. Bill stared at the report card. On it, along with a few A's and B's, there was not 1, but 2 C's. There had never been a C before. It was a long walk home. Bill placed the report card on the front desk at the entrance of their home and went up to his room to study. He says, I thought it wouldn't hurt if they found me studying. He wasn't expecting a beating or anything like that, or even yelling, but what he knew was coming was a confirmation of what he was already thinking, that he was bad, that he was despicable, really, and that he had accomplished an irreparable harm. Oh, wretched boy that I am. He heard them come in the front door. There followed a long discussion downstairs. All he could hear was the muffled tones of his parents speaking. Then the heavy footsteps of his father on the stairs. A knock at the door. Bill tried to sound nonchalant. Come in. His father came in and sat on the bed. Your mother and I saw the report card. Yes, Bill said. She thinks that I should speak to you about the C's. Yes, Bill said. But I'm not going to do that. And his father got up and went over to Bill and put his hand on his shoulder and said, Son, I want to congratulate you on those A's and B's. And he left the room. Bill reports he never made another C. And God said, I will put a bow in the clouds to remind myself of how much I love them, and that